The cafeteria at Ridgeview High was loud that day. Laughter echoed between the metal tables, sneakers squeaked on the waxed floor, and the smell of reheated pizza mixed with cheap perfume filled the air. But in one quiet corner, a girl sat alone with her tray untouched. Her name was Lena Moore, 16, new transfer, pale-skinned with long straight brown hair that draped over her shoulders like a curtain of silence. Her eyes were grey, almost too calm for someone her age. She wore a plain black hoodie, sleeves pulled down to hide the faint scars on her wrists, and her shoulders slightly hunched as if the world weighed too much. It was only her second week at Ridgeview, but the whispers had already started. She's weird. She doesn't talk. I heard she came from a foster home. Every rumor grew bigger than the truth, and every lie spread faster than kindness ever could. At the next table sat Samantha King, the self-proclaimed queen of Ridgeview. Blonde curls, perfect eyeliner, and a voice that could cut through walls. Her posse surrounded her, Lacey, the loud one who always laughed at the wrong time, and Brooke, the quiet one who followed orders like a shadow. Together they ruled the school's social ecosystem, feeding on fear and insecurity. When they spotted Lena sitting alone again, Samantha smirked. "There's our ghost girl," she said, tossing her fork on the tray, "still acting like she doesn't see us." Lacey snickered. Maybe she's mute, or maybe she thinks she's too good to talk to people. Brooke looked uneasy but stayed silent. Samantha leaned back, crossing her legs. "I think she needs a proper Ridgeview welcome." Lena heard them. She always did. But she didn't flinch. She quietly stirred her mashed potatoes, pretending not to notice the stares. Her heart pounded, though her face showed no fear. She had promised herself to stay calm, to not let her past follow her here. Not again. She thought if she just stayed quiet, they'd get bored and leave her. Alone. But bullies don't get bored when someone ignores them. They get curious. They get cruel. "Hey, new girl," Samantha called out across the lunchroom. "You deaf or something?" Heads turned. Conversations paused. A few students looked down, not wanting to be part of it. Lena slowly looked up, her grey eyes meeting Samantha's for the first time. There was no anger, no fear, just emptiness. That silence made Samantha uncomfortable. "Wow," she said with a smirk. "Creepy much?" Lacey laughed loudly. "Maybe she doesn't speak English." Samantha stood up. "Let's find out." And with that, the Queen of Ridgeview strutted toward Lena's table, her followers right behind her. The lunchroom fell quiet, the way a forest does when a predator enters. Lena's hand tightened around her fork, but she stayed still. Samantha stopped in front of her. "You think you're too good to talk to people, huh?" Lena's voice was soft but steady. "No, I just don't talk to people who bark." The cafeteria gasped. Lacey's eyes widened, and Brooke tried not to laugh. Samantha's smile vanished. "What did you just say?" Lena looked up again calmly. "You heard me. That was the first crack in the Queen's pride." "You think you're funny?" Samantha spat, slamming her tray on the table. "Let's see how funny you are when you're the one everyone's laughing at." Before Lena could move, Samantha grabbed her tray and flipped it, splattering food across Lena's hoodie. Gasps rippled through the crowd. Lacey clapped, filming it on her phone. "Welcome to Ridgeview, loser," Samantha sneered. Lena stood up slowly, her hoodie dripping with milk and sauce. Her breathing deepened, but she said nothing. She stared straight into Samantha's eyes, that cold, calm stare that didn't belong to a helpless girl. Samantha didn't know it, but that look meant danger. Real danger. "What's the matter? Gonna cry?" Samantha mocked. Lena's silence only enraged her more. She pushed Lena backward, hard. Lena stumbled but didn't fall. "Oh, you're tougher than you look," Samantha laughed. "Let's test that." She glanced at Lacey. "Help me out." The two girls exchanged a smirk, then grabbed Lena by the arms. The cafeteria watched, frozen. A teacher started to get up, but one of the football players shook his head. "You don't want to get in this." The bullies lifted Lena up and slammed her onto the lunch table. The sound echoed across the room, a hollow thud that silenced everything. Food trays rattled, a few girls screamed. Someone shouted, "That's enough!" but no one moved. Samantha laughed and leaned over her. "Now everyone sees what happens when you talk back." But she didn't realize something. Lena's eyes weren't pleading, They were burning. Slowly, Lena sat up on the table, brushing food from her hair. Her expression changed. The quiet, shy girl vanished. Her voice dropped low, steady, almost too calm. "You shouldn't have done that." Samantha frowned. "Or what?" The next second, the air shifted. Lena's hand moved, fast, precise. She grabbed Samantha's wrist in a flash and twisted. The crack echoed. Samantha screamed. Lacey froze, eyes wide. In one motion, Lena swung her leg, knocking the table sideways. Food, trays, and bullies crashed to the floor. Gasps filled the room. Lena stood there, hair disheveled, hoodie torn, her breathing heavy. But her stance was solid, balanced, controlled, like someone who had done this before. Lacey lunged at her, furious, but Lena sidestepped easily. With a sharp move, she grabbed Lacey's arm, pivoted and swept her leg out. The bully hit the ground hard, breath knocked out. Brooke backed away, terrified. "Oh my God, what are you doing?" Samantha, holding her twisted wrist, stared up at Lena in shock. "You psycho!" Lena didn't move. "You attacked me," she said quietly. "I warned you." Students whispered, recording everything. The quiet new girl had just flipped Ridgeview's untouchable queen and her sidekick like they were paper dolls. The silence in the cafeteria was almost unreal. Even the lunch lady froze mid-step. Then someone shouted, "Get a teacher!" But before anyone could move, Samantha tried to stand and slipped on spilled milk, collapsing again. Laughter burst out from the back tables. The fear and respect shifted all at once.